Hey guys, PA Reloader here. So maybe you've seen my other two videos on my new pellet smoker, the Pit Boss Pro Series 850. I promised you guys I was going to get into some cooks, and we're going to do that today. So what we're going to do is we are going to make some beef rib racks. Now there's two in this package. I'm going to take you into the kitchen. We're going to season them up, and we're going to get the grill fired up. And what was really cool was Pit Boss. I called them because I had a question, and they found out I had a YouTube channel, and they sent me a 20-pound bag of hardwood pellets. So all natural barbecue hardwood pellets, classic blend, real wood flavor. And what's nice is this classic blend does pretty much every meat except for fish and seafood. But beef is it's the first one on there. So that was really cool of Pit Boss to send me that. I really appreciate it. So I want to get those pellets in the hopper. So let's do that right now. Fill this bad boy up. And like I said in my other videos, I use these Homer buckets, and they have a seal. Keep your pellets free from moisture and dirt. That should be enough. Put that on, put that over here. Okay, so the smoker's primed, and we're not going to fire it up yet. What I want to do is I want to get the rack of beef ribs taken apart, cleaned up, dried off. I'll probably use a little bit of mustard as a binder, but for this cook, all I'm using is salt, pepper, a little bit of garlic powder, and paprika, and that should give me a really nice bark. So I'm probably gonna do, I know in the past I've done the 3-2-1 method with ribs. These I'm gonna just do a little bit differently, and I'm gonna look for the color that I want. So I'm not gonna put a probe in them. I have a digital probe that I will probe throughout the cook. But as far as that 3-2-1 method, like I said, I'm just going to go for a really nice looking bark on these ribs. So the grills are the smoker's ready to go. We got the ribs, we got the pellets installed, and let's get into the kitchen and get these ribs prepared. Okay, gang, so here are the ribs. Here's my seasoning, and we got some paper towels we're going to use to dry everything off. Get this garbage out so we can use it. Here's the thermal probe that I was telling you about that I'm going to use to just check the ribs for internal temperature. I'm thinking they're going to reach the stall around 155 to 160 Fahrenheit. But let's get these open and seasoned up. The other thing I wanted to get was some gloves. Okay, got my gloves on. We are going to cut this open, and these look good. These aren't the dinosaur ribs that you see with the big hunk of meat on them, but the price of these, for two of these, was 10 bucks. So I'm going to try them out, and we're going to go from there. They should be, I'm thinking they should be really good. So what we're going to do is I'm going to dry these off a little bit. a little damp, not too bad. Flip them over. Now this side is a little bit fatty, and I'm going to leave that on there, and I'm going to cook these fat side down because I want to protect that meat from any kind of burning. And plus I want the smoke flavor on top of the meat. I don't want it to, smoke the fat. Now, these ribs, they do have a membrane on them, and some people like to take it off. And I'm just going to see how easy it is to take off. Doesn't look that bad. This one's really, yeah, I think what we're going to do is we're just going to score these. We're going to score the membrane. We'll go this way. And then this side doesn't really seem to have much of a membrane, but we're still going to score it, and we'll season it. But these should come out pretty good. And like I said, I'm looking for a just a nice looking bark. I'm not planning on, if it takes 3 hours, it takes 3 hours. That's just the way it's gonna go. So I'm gonna instead of using mustard, I'm gonna use a little apple cider vinegar. Rub that around. Get the sides. And then I'm going to season these guys up. And like I said, this is black pepper, salt, paprika, and garlic powder. So that's looking good. Finally got the Wi-Fi hooked up to my phone, and it's working great. Okay, we're gonna let that sweat in a little bit. That should be good. That's looking really, really good. And like I said, this is the first time that I'm actually doing beef ribs. I've done a lot of pork ribs in the past, and they've come out really well. I like them. Everyone else seems to like them. I'm no pit master by any means, but I have fun doing it. And that's really all that matters. So now, we're going to spritz this with apple cider vinegar again. And I will check on these at about 2 hours. And I gotta wash this grinder after, so I'm touching it with my gloves. I'm gonna check these and probably spritz them around 2 hours, but I'm gonna cook them low and slow, probably right around 220 to 240, and we'll see. This should make a really nice bark on these. Okay, so they're seasoned. Now I'm going to let them sweat a little bit and let that the seasoning soak in, and we'll go from there. We'll be outside in no time, and we'll get these on the smoker. Okay, let's get this smoker fired up. Like I said, we got our pellets in here, filled to the top of the hopper, and let's turn this guy on. It's on low. And what we're going to do, those pellets are dropping in there right now. I can hear them. And once we get ignition, we'll let that smoke burn off. We should see a white smoke. And then we'll put the ribs on, and who knows what happens from there. But hopefully we'll have some good tasting ribs. Okay, I hear them dropping in. Okay, so the pellets that are dropping into the burn pot are starting to ignite. You can see this white smoke that's burning off. Those are the pellets igniting, or starting to ignite. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about my channel and where I'm kind of going with it. So I've done a lot of reloading and camping videos and things like that, but you know, after getting the smoker, I thought it would be pretty neat to just do some smokes and, you know, show off this pit that I got, because I really like it. In case anybody else out there is looking for a nice smoker, I would highly recommend this one. But I am gonna take my channel to a different level, go down some different avenues, and do cooks like this. I definitely want to do a brisket. I am going to film that. We have a fire burning inside right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn. We're going to go to 240 degrees Fahrenheit, and we're going to close the sear option. If you remember in my previous video when I was going over the features of this smoker, it has a searing option, so you can open the grates. So they're like this right now, but if you want to put a sear on a burger or a steak, you pull this lever right here and it opens up the grates, so you can get a 500 degree sear on whatever you're cooking. Chicken, you can get a final sear on that. So that's a pretty cool feature. We're going to close that. We're going to let this smoke burn off. Let's close this for now. Now that it's lit, we can close this. And the internal temperature of the grill right now is at 94 degrees Fahrenheit. There's a probe right here, and that's what's reading that. That's the ambient temperature inside this cook chamber. So the smoker's, it's coming up in temperature, and as soon as this smoke clears, I want to put those ribs on. And like I said, I'm gonna check them in about 2 hours, and we're gonna give them a spritz, and we'll probe them with the meat thermometer, and we'll see where they're at. But again, I would like to thank Pit Boss for, you know, kind of in a way sponsoring my channel. It was really nice of them to send me a 20-pound bag of pellets for my smoker. So I figured, why not do the video using the pellets that they sent me. We're already up to 113, 14 degrees. It's a gorgeous day out here. It's supposed to be like a high of like 72. Beautiful blue skies. I don't see a cloud around. Just an absolute beautiful day to be outside. All right, so we're going to put these on. Take this back to the kitchen, and we're going to just let this come up to temperature. Fans on, igniters on. Chamber doesn't need any more pellets, so the auger's not running. Like right here, I don't have any probes in, so that's why it says no probe. My Wi-Fi connection is available on my phone, and everything's running the way it should. Now I like to keep this hopper full, because That way the weight, the gravity of these pellets will work their way into the auger chamber. There potentially won't be any dead air space where the pellets are not feeding. So I like to keep this full just because I feel like it adds some pressure into that auger area. Okay, so we will be back in a little while to check on these ribs and see how they're doing. So hang in there. Okay, we're at 180 degrees Fahrenheit. Hopper looks good. Burn chamber's getting hot. I like to move these pellets around a little bit, just to make sure nothing's getting hung up. The hopper does have a tapered triangular funnel basically, but you know, I've heard people say that they've had like a dead space where their pellets were, so I just kind of poke around at them. I'm not going to open this as much as I want to see what's going on in there. There's probably nothing going on in there yet. Like I said, I want to get a really good bark on this, and then what I'm going to do is, once I get the bark that I want, I'm going to wrap it in butcher paper, put it back on the smoker. I'm going to wrap it when it hits the stall, which I said earlier about 155, 160. But I'll probe that. I'll check, and we'll be able to see it right here. If the temperature's not climbing, then it's in the stall. So that's the perfect time to wrap it in butcher paper, and then I'm going to put it back on for an hour, 2 hours, until that probe goes in. That thermometer probe goes into the rib real easily. And then, like always, whenever I cook anything on the smoker, I always let it rest in a cooler. I did a pork butt that was 10 pounds, and I let that rest in the cooler for 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and that came out great. And I will do a pork butt video too. That's in the works. So, but I figured we'd start out with ribs today, and we'll see how it goes. So right now the fan's running, the auger is kicking in, so it's dropping some more pellets in. Auger shut off, fan's running to keep that fire going. So let me go inside, I'm going to clean up a little bit, and I'll be back, so hang in there.